So Keely, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I know you're busy right now with university and training and winning awards. So thank you. Hot off the press, you are not only a Rising Star Athlete of the Year in Britain, but also you've earned the Female Athlete of the Year. Uh, Talk to me what that means to you after what you've done this year as a 19-year-old.
I'm probably a little bit lucky that I'm still a junior and I can do the senior in both because of my age. But I was just really happy because I've been nominated for the junior one, I think twice now since I was 17. I've never won it. So I was just happy I finally won it, to be honest.
So, well, congrats on that. And I know it's been 4 months, but I haven't talked to you. You won the silver medal, of course, at the Tokyo Olympics in the 800-meter distance, and in so doing, broke the national 800-meter record. Talk to me about what that feels like, because a lot of people watching this will have no idea. You know, you've got the call room and the anticipation of the race. You've got people who want this as bad as you do. What did it feel like when you finished that race, knowing what you've done?
I mean, I really don't remember that much right now. I think the adrenaline high just sort of takes over everything. But I would say just a sense of relief that you managed to go out and do what you know you can do, and you know you've done all the training. It's just a sense of going out and just making sure that nothing goes wrong, which is very hard to do. But yeah, it was also excitement because I got an Olympic medal, which a year ago I wouldn't have even thought. I would just try and make the team as like a last goal, but to go make a medal and get the final with the other British girls was really good as well. And then Kelly Holmes' record, well, I used to look at that record a couple of years ago and think that's going to take like so long to beat. I didn't know if it was going to be beaten. So to take it down on that day was definitely something special. But going into Tokyo, I knew I was in good shape and I knew I could run a 1:55 time. It was just whether it would come out or not on the day.
So you and Athing Mu ran negative splits, which is very unusual for the 800. Was that a plan, or were you just racing head to head and whatever transpired is whatever transpired? How did that work out?
Yeah, that literally just happened. I think most of my PBs over the years are all from championship races, and almost every single one I'm negative split, which is very weird. So when I ran my 2:03 at the European Junior Championships, I negative split that. 2:04 back in 2018, I negative split that. Everything was just negative split. So I don't know if it just happens. But she seems to do a similar thing. When she runs her races, she seems to negative split as well. So I don't know.
Are you sort of friends now that you're both 19, both medalists in the same race? Like, do you talk online, stuff like that?
We have spoke online before. Yeah, I met her the first time in Tokyo. Literally after the final, I didn't really see her in the rounds. She's a nice girl. She's a very talented athlete, and I think we've got hopefully a good 10 to 12 years of pushing each other. It's good to have her in my sights and like strive towards trying to beat her. As I'm sure she won't want me to beat her, so it's good. It's good competition, but yeah, she's a good girl as well.
Healthy competition for sure. So then the world record is 1:53 and change. What's it going to take? You're a couple seconds away from that, and you didn't think the Dame Kelly Holmes's record was attainable just yet. So what do you think? Is that on your radar? Are you going to work on worlds next and just focus on one thing at a time? How does that work in your mind?
I think for me, I definitely would value medals over records. In my career, I definitely think I'd want all my medals. But if you don't know how to get in final in the championship environment, and you've got that arousal and that adrenaline going through, something like that I think will happen in our generation of sport. I think as science gets better and as athletes training get better, I think maybe a hint of getting close to it is possible. So I suppose just see what happens, really.
There's a bit of a resurgence in Great Britain, Scotland, Ireland, and England. It seems with athletics, especially middle distance. You got your Josh Kerr, Laura Muir, and many others. So is it just timing, or is there great coaching, or is there a culture now back to the way it used to be many years ago towards the sport?
I'd say timing, it's very different to say timing because we're all in different parts of our career. So Laura was unfortunately over her career been dipped out of medals. She's always been such a strong contender. Finally got her moment. Josh Kerr, he's only 23, I think. He's not that old either. So he's potentially just really at the start of his, and maybe 19. It all just kind of happened. But I think Britain's middle distance is definitely coming a lot this year, particularly the women. But you can say the same about the US. The US girls, they had 3 in the final as well. But I'd like to see Jenny's perspective on that.
Oh. Yeah, I think it just came together at the time, and I think you've said it really well, Keely. People are at different stages of their career. It was amazing to see Laura Muir get that medal at long last, and I'm sure she supported you, Keely, but I'm sure you probably frustrated her that you've just come out first time and done it at 19. It doesn't happen. And I would like to say, there is a constant flow of good athletes coming through, but it has to be good coaching as well. And I think Andy Young, who coaches Laura, and obviously Jen Mariki, who was 4th, he's learning his trade, and, he's learned alongside his athletes. Obviously Trevor, who coaches Keely, coached me to a world championship medal. So I think there's some good young coaches coming through, and coaching is often undervalued. So I hope Great Britain and other nations really value their coaches, because they've been doing a great job over the last few years. And it's very hard to win a medal at a major championships. Let's not forget how tough it is to do that. But I think 3 women in that women's 800 from the US and from Great Britain was absolutely phenomenal.
It's great for the sport, for sure. Hey, throw a curveball at you, Keely. Have you gotten over the Piers Morgan slag yet?
I can't believe he's known over there. That's crazy. Piers Morgan, he knows what he's doing. He likes to really get in people's minds. So I thought my reaction was very clever, very subtle but very clever. And he replied within 30 seconds. I tweeted it, and in 30 seconds he replied. And he knows my birthday, which means he's Googled me, which I think is a bit weird.
That's a bit odd, eh? Yeah.
But
I think he's in his 60s, isn't he?
Yeah, something. Yeah, I can't
Hey,
say.
Piers, you're kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I can say that. You don't. Talk about Leeds Beckett University. They have an athletics program there. You're a pro runner and an Olympic medalist. Do they reach out to you at all about training and that sort of thing, or?
Are you talking about the hub at Leeds Beckett?
Yeah.
The talent hub. I'm still on that talent hub at the minute.
Oh, okay.
So and I live in Leeds right now, which is the university's literally up there. But yeah, they have a great talent of athletes coming through from all ages, really, from 17 all the way up to 30. So they've got everything here. They built a new building, 50 million they put into it. It's got track, loads of physiology equipment, scans, whatever you need, gym. So yeah, it's a great place to train, really, and I got a lot of support from them.
Well, speaking of training, there's a video of you, I think Twitter one, where you're grabbing your knees. And you're walking around. It's an indoor thing.
Yeah.
And obviously you're peaking for indoors, I guess. What was that workout?
Yeah, that was my first indoor session because it's too cold in Britain. So we went indoors, and very lactic, very hard. But yeah, we're gonna do indoors, and hopefully the world indoors, and see what we can do there.
Can you talk about Barry Wells Trust? What's that all about?
Barry, he is, how do you say that? Philanthropist.
Ah, you got it.
Philanthropist.
Yep.
He's a very successful businessman, and he used to sponsor athletes. He used to sponsor Jen as well. Back in, I don't know what year it was, but so he sponsored athletes, and he hadn't done it for a while, but then he quite liked me for some reason, and he decided he wanted to support me this year. So I didn't get any, wasn't on funding with the British Athletics, and his trust, his charity, Box for Kids, he funds it himself, and it's all about making terminally ill children and disabled kids have a almost like VIP day out. So I'm an ambassador for them, which is me giving back to what he's done for me by supporting me and funding my training camps and all that stuff. So yeah, it's really good.
Oh, nice. Sounds like a good guy.
He's a great guy. Very nice cars.
Where is your weekly volume at in when you're not racing in your base phase?
We do. I'm currently operating at around. I don't really know what Trevor knows the path to what's building, but I've definitely still got places to go and places to improve on and build on in my training. But at the minute we operate around 30 to 35 miles a week. But I do a lot of stuff also on the cross trainer because I feel like it just works for me and my body, which I think is becoming quite popular now. People cross training and finding other ways to supplement to not have stress in your body, and they also help prevent injuries, which is good. So yeah, I'd say it's not too much at the minute, and it seems to be working all right. So we'll build on it from there.
Yeah, and if I can butt in, Keely, I know what the full volume will look like at some point, and what you're doing is unbelievable off the, I'd probably say you're working at 70% of what your final load will be. And, I ran 157 for 800 and I was on 100% load, and you've run a 155.88 off a 70% load. So it'll be gradual, keep progressing things. But I totally agree with what Christopher said. That world record, Athing and Keely, the next decade or so, I think they're going to get close to that if they keep fit and healthy and keep pushing each other. I'm sure Athing's got capacity to grow as well, and you have Keely. So I'm a very excited fan, and I'm glad I don't need to race you anymore.
Yeah. So Jenny, what was your high volume point in your career that was also led to
I
success?
probably got to 60 miles a week. And I don't think Keely will get to 60, but I think we definitely wanted to get to 50 eventually. But the way we're doing it is just really looking at how her body responds to things. And at 19, I don't think she needs to be any more than 30 to 35. If we want this long career and we want to keep fit and healthy, I think Keely benefits from our hindsight of things that we did too fast or wish we'd have changed things. But we had, Trevor and I had conversations this time last year. Do you think Keely can break 2 minutes? And we're like, yeah, we think she can. And then all of a sudden it was kind of, we think she can run 158, and then we think she can run 157. And a week before Tokyo, we're questioning ourselves going, can she run 155? So, but what I have to say is it's all been quite organic. Sometimes Trevor and I have questioned each other. Is she peaking too early? Is she going to peak too early? And she ran 158, but then it ended up with a 155 by Tokyo. So she's done a lot of this as a natural response to the program rather than the program push her. So yeah, a 30% more capacity at Keely. So that'll be interesting where we end up at the back of that.
So considering you ran 52.91, I think it was, in the 400, which is pretty fast for someone who doesn't specialize in the 400 this year, and your great improvement in the 800. I wonder, how the 800, you're either a mid-D who runs down to the 800, or you're a long sprinter who moves up to the. History is rife with that argument of who's what. So is Keely, are you a 400 dressed up as an 800, or are you a 1500 dressed up as an 800?
I actually don't know. I say at the minute I'm probably very much just 8, but we are going from the perspective of trying to get my 400 down as low as we can. But then everyone always says to me I should do a 1500, and I'll probably end up being a 1500 meter runner, but that can wait. I don't want to touch the 1500s right now. So yeah, I'd say at the minute I'm probably very much 800, but trying to itch myself to be a 48.
Anybody who knows the sport will know that your 430 is from 2017. You were a champ.
Yeah.
It's a long
I do
time
need
ago.
to update that time, but not anytime soon.
Yeah, but believe you
Sub
me,
4.
she can get close to 4 minutes now. I could probably run 4:05, and the sessions that I do, and Keely repeats some of them, she runs them faster than me. So she can run close to 4 minutes right now, for sure.
So I know this is the easy go question, but so based on this part of the discussion, I wasn't going to ask, but is there a thought that one day you'll move up to the 1500?
I think potentially I would, because when I was younger, I did actually used to run more 1500s than I did 8. I just happened to one year do better at the 800 and I just kind of stuck with it. But I think potentially maybe there is. We'll just have to see, but hopefully it's not anytime soon. That's long. It's double. It's a long way. So but I'm thinking maybe, you know, hopefully I've got time on my side and I can focus more on the 800s now for the next couple of years, and then we'll see what the 1500.
What does your season look like coming up in 2022?
Well, as being British, next year we have 3 championships, which is kind of mental. So I think, yeah, it's a lot to do. But I think at the minute, yeah, we will dabble on the Diamond League circuit. Potentially, we might even go to Eugene. I don't know if that's not set in stone right now, but I enjoy running on the Diamond League circuit. I'm sure I'll see more of a thing on the Diamond League circuit this year. But yeah, it's all about, I've kind of discovered also this year that I'm a person that I don't need to race all the time. I can just do 1 or 2 and I'm all right with going into a championship like that. So we'll kind of just play it by ear, but I think, yeah, I enjoy doing it. So we'll see if the body stays in one piece and see if we can finish off the Diamond League season next year.
Good stuff. Well, listen, I thank you for this conversation, and good luck with your indoor season and outdoors, of course, in Worlds. Once again, thank you so much, Jenny and Keely, for your time tonight.
No, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Pleasure.
For the United States, their first champion in half a century. A 19-year-old wins it. A 19-year-old takes the silver. Keely Hodgkinson of Great Britain. The two